What is up, guys? Welcome back to LoshTV. It's me, Adrian, here. Before we start with this video, why don't you guys do me a huge favor and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and give this video a thumbs up, because why not? Also, I want to thank you guys for all the appreciation you've given us. I really want to say you guys are amazing. Besides the fact of the Horror Nights Unscripted and everything that I've done for Scott and with Scott, which I'm so grateful for, you guys have just been amazing people. You guys have gone into my Instagram and told me thank you for making like joyous content. I do this for you guys. You guys are the reason that I do this. I want to make everyone happy. That's my objective. And in troubling times like this, it's what we have to do. Now, let's get back to the topic. I was sitting at home and I was thinking, if we can have icons in Orlando and have them come back, why can't we have icons from other countries or other events, Horror Nights events, come to our event? I know what you're thinking. I'm crazy. I'll explain it after the intro. Roll that thing, baby. So, like I said before the intro, I want to talk about icons, but not specifically, sorry, I don't know English, I'm very bad with grammar, not specifically Orlando. I want to talk about the icons at the other parks. For example, Hollywood, Singapore, and Japan. Now I know what you're thinking. Adrian, you're a Horror Nights Orlando channel. Why are you going to veer off into these other parks? Well, it's the 30th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights. So it makes me believe that there's potential that these icons can show up in some way, shape, or form. Now, an icon, if you don't know, is a person or creature or thing that represents the event in a way, or ties everything together. Basically like the ringleader or the showman, basically, of the said event. For example, in Orlando, we've had the Crypt Keeper, we've had Jack the Clown, we've had the caretaker, we've had the usher, we've had the director, we've had the storyteller, we've had Bloody Mary, we've had Fear, and we had Lady Luck. Those are all icons. Well, granted, Terror Queen didn't get her own event, but all of them had their own event, as well as, if we want to talk about Terror Queen in a way, she had her own event, but it was taken away from her, technically. It was given straight to the storyteller, and everything was straight out of her books. But well, that's a topic for another day. And now we're just gonna slightly transition using Terror Queen, right? The other icons, the scrapped icons that also can potentially come back, because they have come back before. Now those guys are Cindy, which is the caretaker's daughter, and then Eddie, which is Jack's brother. They've both come back in some way, shape, or form in the past. They were supposed to have their own events. For example, Jack was supposed to have 01, but then 9/11 occurred and kind of blew everything out of the water. What really didn't allow us to have Sydney as an icon in 02, so we got the caretaker instead. She was also supposed to come up in 2010, but they came up with the idea of Fear instead, and that's what happened there. But then we also have Nathaniel Crow, who can possibly show up this year. He was supposed to be the icon of 2008, if I'm not mistaken, and he was basically a pumpkin king. And I know what you're thinking. If you watch my speculation map video, we have a house that's called Pumpkin House. Technically, I believe that's the name. So I think that Nathaniel Crow is going to have his own house this year. Call this speculation, call it me going crazy, but I just feel like it makes sense. I want to talk about, are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. So, hear me out. Hollywood doesn't really have icons. They've had the director and Jack in respective years, and those were Orlando icons, so they're not really Hollywood icons. I feel, call this my Hollywood speculation in a way. On Horror Nights Unscripted, I always have this little joke with Scott saying that Sweet Licks and Hollywood Harry are gonna have a house and they're gonna go against each other. Now, wouldn't it be crazy if we saw them in Orlando in any way, shape, or form? I know this is probably the craziest one you'll hear from me today, but it would actually make sense. You can have all the deranged clowns. You can have Jack, you can have Sweet Licks, you can have Eddie, you can have Hollywood Harry. They can all have their own house and call it. They always said they were going to give us a sequel to Giggles and Gore, and we never got it. Giggles and Gore, if you don't know, was basically a clown factory. So I feel, potentially, maybe not this year, another year maybe we'll get a sequel to Giggles and Gore, and they'll give us the icons. Now, it's possibly not going to happen, but it's possible. Now, don't tell me that doesn't sound amazing. Like, all the clowns just hanging out, having a great time. Now, just like in Hollywood, Singapore also had some icons that were in Orlando. Well, not just some, just one. The director. You know, saying his name a lot makes me think he's going to show up this year. But then again, this is my video. If he shows up, you're welcome, I think. Now, even though Singapore's event's been going on since 2011, they've had a very diverse set of icons. And I mean, they have a lot. So, let's pigeon dive straight into this icon list. But before I do that, if you guys want me to go into any detail with any of these icons, please let me know. Comment down below that you want to see that. I'm going to continue my How the Past videos, but if you guys want to hear history lessons on the icons, I got you. Just ask for them down below. That's all you need to do. It's communication. It's communication. So, let's start off with the Singapore icons. We have, I'm sorry, I kind of have to read off a list because I don't remember these off the top of my head, like I do Hollywood Harry and Sweet Licks and all of the Orlando ones. So, we have the Puppet Master, the High Priest, Dr. Dementia, and the Undertaker. No, not the wrestler. I hear you back there. Why would it be the wrestler? I mean, that'd be cool, but no. Then we have the Sisters of Evil, which were Crone of the Forest, the Maiden of Opera, and then Daughter of the Dead. We also have the Minister of Evil, Lady Death, and Gideon Grimm, as well as we had something that was similar to like the 7 deadly sins over there. And they were cruelty, malice, deception, narcissism, manipulation, perversion, and obsession. And those are the icons from Singapore. Now, I would definitely love to see some of these guys out here. Like I said, if you guys want to hear anything about any of these icons, let me know. Please, I'm here for you. We're here for each other. We have had a 7 Deadly Sins scare zone before. It was called 7 back in 2011. Back in 2011, we had Lady Luck running the show. So wouldn't it be cool to have a scare zone or house based on the Singapore version of them? Now, if you don't know what they look like, they all have this distinct factor that make them all look different. And it's so cool. Now, it'll be completely different from what we had before, but it'll be pretty cool to see. Let's go on to my next thing. I had to write these down because, you know, I had ideas and this is just coming up top of my head and I was just typing. I was at work and I was just typing these down. So my next idea would be, imagine the Puppet Master having his own house. Just imagine something just like Dollhouse of the Damned, but instead of a dollhouse, it's like a theater. Like, there's puppeteers, the place is full of puppets, and it's gonna be like, think of like Dead Silence, but with puppets. I don't know, ever since I've seen the Puppet Master at Singapore, like if he was their first like original icon, ever since I've seen him, I've always wanted him to come to Orlando and have his own house. I feel like it would be phenomenal. But then again, who knows? We're just speculating here. And now if we want to keep going with the Singapore icons, I have one more idea that could potentially work. it actually spawned to me, I want to say 2017, because I want to say that they had her in 2016. They had a commercial that had a lady that looked like Lady Death. And I was thinking, I'm like, wouldn't it be pretty cool? Being as in we've already had a scare zone based on Day of the Dead and a house based on La Llorona. We're already rich in Mexican culture at the event. So just imagine a house that builds on that Mexican lore and gives you a Lady Death house. Like, I just feel like it would really work out and it would be a solid house. But that's just my opinion on that. Let's go to the next country slash last country slash last event that we're going to talk about today, which is Japan. Now, Japan is I believe it started in 2012. It's a brand new event, technically. I mean, so is Singapore. It started in 11, but Japan's newer than Singapore. Sorry, I'm doing this all in one take. But Japan hasn't really had an icon. But they have had big IPs come to the event and stay, like continuously go. For example, they had Sadako, I'm saying that wrong. Sadako, The Ring. Americans know it as The Ring. And they've had it as a house multiple times, and they had it as a scare zone multiple times. We have never seen The Ring at the event. I would love to see The Ring. Now, granted, I know I'm cheating a bit because these aren't icons, but hear me out. I find it pretty cool to me. I don't know about you guys, but I like the idea of having The Ring be a house. And then the other, because I wanted to talk about more than one, would be Chucky. Now, I know what you're saying. We've had a Chucky house back in 2019. Chucky had a scare zone. But that scare zone won Scare Zone of the Year that year. And it was very popular with the fans. So I feel as if Chucky could work really well. Especially in a year like this where a lot of stuff had to be put on hold, like new release wise. I can see Chucky really working out for us. Now, those are all the icons from all Orlando, Hollywood, Singapore, and Japan. Like I said before, I'm going to say it for a third time. If you guys want to hear about any of these icons, comment down below and I will do my best to look up everything about them and let you know. I will do all of my research. Now, out of all the icons I said, who would you want to see at the event the most? And I'm talking about either from Orlando, either a scrapped icon, a Hollywood icon, a Singapore icon, or even The Ring or Chucky from Japan. What do you guys want to see? Let me know. I want to know, because there's some stuff I want to see. I told you what I wanted to see. I gave you an example. So, since we're here, subscribe if you're not subscribed, guys. Like this video if you enjoyed it. And, as always, stay excellent, my dudes.